That's weird. It's not showing the... What if we do that? Okay, there we go. There we go. It's back off. Okay, cool.
I know you are dying for some candy.
Alrighty. This one might be a little shorter. I've got work early tomorrow. But here we go. Fine, then please at least try to sound more sarcastic when you do it. Oh sure, I'm really going to do that. Yes, very likely. Then the scratch will be implemented later, either by John or Dave, I presume. You used a male pronoun. Yes. I guess it makes sense that it would happen later. My understanding is that Jack will not be banished from this session until near the end of the reckoning. Yes, Jack will exit your session later, but this has nothing to do with the scratch, not directly as you imply. I don't understand. I thought that was the point of the scratch. To open a rift in space-time, as it were, to banish him to the troll session. No, that is not the purpose of the scratch at all. The scratch does not open a rift in space-time. Then why have you not directed me to cause it? Then why have you directed me to cause it? Does it have something to do with enabling you to die? Not directly. The scratch has nothing more to do with my death than any other single event ultimately contributing to my demise. Dropped something, 1 second. Okay. I think it's disingenuous for you to behave as if I may not have been misled. You say you don't lie, but what about lies of omission? Lies of omission do not exist. The concept is a very human one. It is the product of your story writing again. You've written a story about the truth, making emotional demands of it, and in particular of those in possession of it. Your demands are based on a feeling of entitlement to the facts, which is very childish. You can never know all of the facts, only I can. And since it's impossible for me to reveal all facts to you, it is my discretion alone that decides which facts will be revealed in the finite time we have. If I do not volunteer information you deem critical to your fate, it possibly means that I am a scoundrel, but it does not mean that I am a liar, and it certainly means you did not ask the right questions. One can make either true statements or false statements about reality. All of the statements I am making are true, unless you're joking. Yes. Ha ha hee hee hoo hoo. Exactly. Then I guess I'll start asking better questions. Good. I will make a seer of you yet. Will you? Yes. You can start by shoring up the reliability of your source, and me believing you understood the purpose of the scratch. You receive your information about it from trolls. I assure you that in most ways the trolls are as confused about everything as you are. Okay, noted. What exactly does the scratch do then? It resets the game. Oh, that's it? Yes. Then we all start from the beginning again, when John entered? No, the release of temporal energy will be quite massive. This is a hard reset. It will reboot the conditions in your universe to well before you began playing the game. You will have lived different lives after the reset. The different initial conditions will ideally lead to a more favorable scenario in the new session. Unfortunately, you'll have no memory of anything that has happened in the session you are in now. What will happen to us, everyone in this session now? You will all cease to exist completely if you remain here during the scratch. This seems familiar. It reminds me of when Dave and I were trapped in the Doom's timeline, and he left to change the past. The timeline ceased to exist along with my dream self, who in a way became merged with my dream self of this timeline. I kept some of her memories. Is the situation similar? Similar, but more severe. Since this timeline will undergo a violent upheaval, such a merger of memory could not happen. You'll be resigned to absolute oblivion unless you can discover a way to preserve yourselves. It's not really my place to advise you on that. After you've dealt with the scratch and the sun, what happens to you is not any of my business. Then you can at least tell me if we will be successful in preserving ourselves after the reset. I don't particularly enjoy spoiling things for people when unnecessary. I find speaking in a discreet color helps avoid this. So if the scratch is... So if the scratch isn't specifically meant to banish Jack from the session, and our quest to destroy the sun is meant to kill him, why is the reset necessary at all, especially if it means oblivion for us? Because you cannot achieve the ultimate reward in this session. Your battlefield is cancerous, and the reckoning will destroy it prematurely regardless. By resetting, you'll create a session which can bear the fruit of a new universe. Even if you will not be the ones to claim that reward. Don't you want to fulfill your purpose? I guess, but it's still a little disheartening to learn I'm faced now with not one but two suicide missions at once. One to destroy Jack's power source and defend all of existence, and another to ensure our cosmic progeny at the price of oblivion. That frames the dual objective as accurately, but if you're inventive, you may find a way to survive the reset and participate in the renewed session. It's up to you, just as it's up to you to face the decision and claim immortality before you enter your creation. Immortality? Yes. Do you mean ascending to God tier? Yes. I have reason to believe that I won't. The trolls have not indicated I will die on my quest bed, or that any of us will aside from John. Instead, I'm given a more troubling and ambiguous forecast. What have I said about confirming the reliability of your sources? Are you saying I will? No. Oh, well, will I? It seems you'd like me to do some more fortune-telling. Fine, maybe this question will suit you better. Is it probable? That's a strange question to ask someone who is omniscient and therefore knows outcomes with 100% accuracy. I like it. Then what's your answer? You have exactly a 50% chance of ascending to the God tier. That's a strange answer, I know. Why such a precise probability? Because, much like the decision you must face to complete your dual suicide missions, you have two ways of achieving godhood to choose from. 2 ways? By dying on the quest bed on my planet and some other way? Yes. Is there another quest bed somewhere? Good guess, Seer. Where? What difference does it make? You already know where the first one is. You have the choice to go there right now and take your own life. That's true. Of course it is. You mentioned immortality? Godhood makes one immortal? Yes. A god tier will live forever with no caveats. No, one will live forever unless killed. The death must be either heroic or just. How are those terms justified? How are those terms defined? Broadly, mysteriously, and according to the case of the individual. One may be killed by opposing a corrupt adversary and die for a just cause, as martyrdom, for instance. This would be heroic. Or one may be subject to corruption and slain by a hero. This would be just. Which sort of death will you have when I destroy the sun? Neither. I'm not a god. I'm a guardian, a servant, and a weapon. I have power and knowledge far surpassing a god, but I am not one. Is this, and you're going to tell me why you want to die? Yes. I sense it's not because you're getting bored with your immortality. That's good. Your vision is becoming clearer. Then why? My master can't enter this universe until I am killed. Such is the nature of the break. That almost sounds like martyrdom. Are you sure it won't be a hero's death? Quite sure. My master is a very evil man. Who is he? I won't tell you his name, but he goes by the title Lord English. That doesn't sound like an especially admirable objective, releasing an evil man who's presumably more powerful than you, an already omnipotent being, am I right? You are right about both. It is not admirable, and he is considerably more powerful. But you must decide which objective is more important. You may decide to attempt to destroy the sun and end my life. This will neutralize Jack, who is also much more powerful and dangerous than myself by virtue of the ring he wears, in addition to drawing energy from the same sun as I. He poses a significant threat to reality. But in the process of killing him and you, I release your master, who is just as deadly. He's more deadly, but the danger he poses is sanctioned by paradox space. It is a known quantity. His very existence in the universe will mean it will inevitably be torn apart. But there are rules to his entry, and his grim procession through paradox space is rather orderly. The present equilibrium has accounted for him, and will continue to. Jack, however, is a loose cannon. He will not stop until he destroys everything he encounters. Additionally, his existence is your responsibility. Then I guess I don't have a choice. You do, but also know this. Refusing to venture out to destroy the sun is in no way spares anyone from my master regardless. It is certainly true that destroying it will end my life, and it is certainly true that the tumor you will deliver to its location has enough power to destroy it completely. But it is not the only way to kill me. It is simply a way I have suggested to you, which doubles as a way to disarm Jack, should you choose to go through with it. Instances of myself have spawned in countless universes, and my objective is always the same. I have never once failed to complete this objective, and I never will. There's nothing noble about taking a course of action you believe would prevent his arrival, because that is impossible. He will come, and in fact, he is already here. Are you saying I'll succeed in the mission to destroy the sun? Are you asking for another palm reading? You seem rather keen on acquiring a fortune from me, considering you are the one with the crystal ball. I'm just trying to ask as many questions as I can. It's the only way to find the dark spots in your obstinacy. You've been very helpful, and I will continue to be. I myself do not care to be an oracle, but I can graciously supply you with one. Can you? An eager consort has brought you one of my seeds. It appears you have amassed followers who wish to please you. How fortunate. Your seeds? White orb. Oh, the cue ball. How did I not notice this? It will accurately answer any question a curious girl can pose, provided she can see through the surface to read its reply. Is that possible? Is it, seer? Given your title and all the tools of prognostication at your disposal, it seems to me I should be the one asking you the questions. How can I see through it? It seems you weren't listening, so I will state this again in the form of a question. Don't you think I should be asking the questions from now on? Yes, if you wanted to be disingenuous and irritating. Don't you think a clever person should be able to acquire information from someone who only asks questions? Then it's a challenge. I pass. Do you have a choice? What if I'm feeling a bit stubborn? Okay, so what you mean is I should continue humoring your leading questions until you happen to ask rhetorical questions that contain the information I need. Was that a question? That was a fact, and then a period. How does a seer see? With a crystal ball? I already considered that. I don't think I can get the focus on the ball to zoom in tight enough on the cues. The ball's enclosure to read the answers. But how else does she see? By other magical means, I guess. Should I use magic? Do you believe in magic? Magic is real. I've been using it. Are you sure? Use whatever word you want to describe it. I have magic wands. They are very powerful, and they allow me to be magic. Your questions are silly. Could this be circumstantial? Could it? Is there an echo? Is there an echo? He? I don't know what you're getting at. How about another leading question? What did you combine to make those wands? Some stuff. Knitting needles? An inexpensive figurine of some fictional fellow with long whiskers? A simple textbook on the zoologically dubious? Why would this mundane combination of objects grant a child such an alarming mastery over dark forces all at once? I'm guessing this is one of the rhetorical questions meant to be informative. So then, my answer should affirm how ridiculous that sounds, shouldn't it? Maybe. That wasn't even a question. It was? Yes, it was? Okay, magic is fake, the wands are useless toys, and there's something else going on. Next question. Would it be so difficult to believe the power you've found to devastate your planet and create shortcuts through your session is not all entirely by your own device? Would it be so difficult to believe a young lady could be unwittingly apprenticed by more powerful entities who meant her potential to be realized later through some arbitrary trigger? What would you say if I said a dutiful girl raised in the daylight was protected by a bulb-headed guardian and learned to glow in the dark after death? What would you say if I said a vengeful boy on a path of nihilism was taken under the wings of fearsome angels and learned to destroy hope with their light? What would you say if I said a reserved girl, enamored by what dwelt in the shadow, was selected by the horror terrors for her service and did their bidding at every step while convinced of her own autonomy? What would I say to these short fables? Not much, except I gather the third is a story about me, and there's a lesson you'd like me to take from it. That I should renounce my allegiance before my grimdark corruption is absolute, and while I'm at it I should discard these useless wands because apparently the power was in my little black heart all along, is that right? Won't you have to give up your specialist to the one who causes the scratch regardless? How else will the young man wield that great big needle? I don't know, if you say so. Haven't your friends already shown concern for your recklessness and your increasing sense of detachment from the party, the team objectives, and not to mention those of your personal quest? Does this worry you? Is there a part of you left that is able to worry? Yes, it has been mysteriously localized to my middle finger. Could the dark magics be at work again? Do you deny that you've been neglecting incoming messages from your teammates? Would that be in keeping with the spirit of the human emotion of friendship for one whose soul was not so befouled by the design of unknowable monstrosities? Friendship isn't an emotion, numbnuts. Isn't it, Rose? Isn't it? I've been busy. I'll get back to them. And can we please stop doing the patronizing question thing? In exchange, I promise I will discontinue my patronizing responses. Can the omniscient be patronized? The omnipotent can do whatever they please. I guess I'm just asking you nicely to do me this favor. Very well, I will stop smothering you with surprise noodles. Huh? Only because I find you to be adorable. So creepy. So cute. Yuck. I'm gonna ask the same question I asked earlier. Please do not regard it as a violation of my pledge. It is just an ordinary question, like those that crop up in ordinary conversation. Okay? How does a seer see? I don't know. Be literal. With her eyes? Take the orb, ask it a question. I don't know what to ask anymore, I'm confused. What would you ask me? I would ask what I should do next. Then ask, what should I do next? Not me, the ball, dumbass. Rose asks. Rose answers. Sorry for the delayed response. Answering seems to be what to do right now. Rose, geez, finally. You sure seem to be absorbed in whatever you're doing on that computer. Were you talking to someone? Oh right, I forgot I gave you the code for the crystal ball. And here I was thinking I could safely delay responding to messages without seeming like an ass, the way it usually works. Oops. Oh, no, I won't blame you for not responding. You must be very upset. Are you okay? Why would I be upset? Because I figured you would have found out by now, but I guess you still don't know. Know what? About John's dad and your mom? Rose? Hello? Oh no. Rose, please say something. You're making me nervous. I should have gone looking for her. Why didn't I? Because you were busy trying to make the best of this situation? John was too, but he went to look for his father. It would have been normal of me. I can't remember what I was trying to prove anymore. I don't think you should be so hard on yourself about it. John was being John and you were being you, which I guess meant taking our problems very seriously and putting all your attention on solving them. And anyway, you and your mom had a much trickier relationship than John and his dad, didn't you? I mean, not that I'm saying that means you were any less attached to her than him. I don't know if I'm very good at consoling people. Sorry, Rose, I don't want to make you feel worse. You're doing fine for someone raised by a dog. Or really anyone. Thanks. Phew, okay. You know, now you've all lost guardians. Dave lost his, and I lost mine in a weird way. Even though that was pretty much definitely my fault. And even the trolls lost all their monster guardians. I think that maybe it's an inevitable part of the game that can be cruel sometimes. For some reason, despite all the danger, I never thought she was in any trouble. I never believed she would actually die. I grew up with a feeling that something more significant had always been meant for her. That she was a heroine displaced in some way, resigned to the inglorious duty of raising me and preparing me in her way. I didn't actually need the ectobiological verification that she was like a mother and a sister at the same time. I always understood that somehow. And I felt she had knowledge and ability beyond what she let on. It was always intimidating, but nonetheless a source of respect which was childishly begrudging on my part. I think she was just waiting for me to catch up with her, but now I can't. I am so sad. Rose, I think you're being stronger about it than I am. Probably because my emotions have now ceded to anger. This shouldn't have happened. Oh, well, I just hope you aren't thinking of doing something rash. I already was. I was going to go to sleep, fly to a sun bigger than our universe, drop a bomb in it, and kill myself. Yeah. So if my course of action is to change on account of my mood, it can only become less impetuous, don't you think? Or, I don't know. You never liked my plan very much anyway. Well, no. But I was trusting that you had thought it through, and it was for our best hope. And it was our best hope. I'm not sure if I did. Maybe it was a terrible plan. I made it without a full understanding of the nature of the scratch. Then what will you do? I could stop being so cowardly for once. I could short-circuit this endlessly expanding game of chess we're playing, just like Jack decided to do. What does that mean? Maybe I'll go kill Jack myself right now. Oh, no. Rose, that is a much, much worse plan. He'll probably kill you. Probably. But the scratch will wipe us out anyway, and reboot the conditions of our session. I suddenly don't feel much like sneaking through the back door of the furthest ring for retribution by distant supernova. I know what you mean. I was angry at Jack and wanted to stop him too, but we have to think of a more sensible way to do it. Whether my existing plan was sensible or not, I may have been allowing myself to be manipulated by an omniscient being. Regardless. What? Who? Hello, ladies. Ah, what? This is a private conversation, private even to those who already know it word for word already. Proceed, I'll be here watching. Rose, who's this? Ignore him. I don't even know what's going on anymore. You were discussing Miss Lalonde's trepid new variation on suicide. As one with a passion for the subject, I'm intrigued. Shh. Anyway, if it's true the gods have selected me for service, then maybe the power they've given me will be sufficient. Maybe they wanted me to kill him all along. Hee. Shh. Please don't, Rose. I know you're angry, but you aren't thinking straight. But I am. I'm fully aware I'll probably die and fail. Scratch happens, we start fresh. No recollection, no problem. No! Jade, as an ambassador of Skya, maybe you'd be willing to talk some sense into your friend. You should understand she's been corrupted by various entities with some rather questionable motives. Rose, maybe White Tech Sky is right. The Dark Gods gave you all these powers and seem to be helping us with dream bubbles and stuff. But what if they're actually not... What if they're not actually good? They are enormous, ugly, and live in darkness. That doesn't necessarily make them bad. No, but I still don't trust them. If only there were a way to make this determination with certainty. The reliable source within reach for instance at this exact moment. Perhaps one that is spherical and devastatingly handsome. What is this weirdo talking about? The cue ball. Oh yeah, I noticed you found it. I was worried it had been destroyed when my room blew up. Is he saying you can use it? Yes, and he's right. Oh my gosh, does it work? It advised me to talk to you just now, so I guess so. Then maybe you should try it. Yes, Rose, listen to Jade. She is far less manipulative than I. What are you suggesting that I ask? Well, since we don't know much about the gods, why don't you ask it about them? So you're saying I should ask if the gods are evil? I guess that's a way to put it. Even though at this point neither of you is highlighting my text to read it, this idea gets my vote. Go ahead, ask Seer. The Seer asks. Okay. I forgot to get some water, so I'm gonna do that right quick. Rose goes dark. We slip into the fabled Black Death trance of woe Gothics, quaking all the while in the blood-eldritch throes of the broodfester tongues. You advise the members of your complacency not to be alarmed, as they chronicle the event in tomes bound in the tanned, writhing flesh of a tortured hell scholar, with runes stroked in the black tears bled from the corruption-weary eyes of 50,000 imaginary cultists. But they fail to not be alarmed. This is because, as is now painfully obvious to anyone with a brain, you've basically gone completely off the deep end in every way. You have officially gone grim dark. Rose resists the urge to seek revenge. She makes a half-hearted attempt to resist the urge. Alas, one is not easily shaken from the broodfester tongues. They are stubborn throws. The big man requests a timeout. Wreak some havoc. The big man's about to wreak some havoc in the yard. The court is on fire. Request ruler. Dude, come get the ruler. Check this out. Dude, hurry, look, she's escaping from above. Okay, dude, no. Okay, how am I going to wreak some havoc in the yard with a meter? Again with the metric system, what is it even wrong with you and units, man? You must be toking up on a joint to make you stoned or something. I can't even think of who leaves all her rings lying around like that. It is so infuriating. Shit, where's the manager? Dude, no, let me show you. No. 8.56 senator meters. Fuck no. Dude, you gotta snap it broke ways. Snop. It was at this point when you got distracted by the author's hot self-insert. Who were you expecting, the Easter Bunny? You probably want to know how involved the big man wants to get in the story. How much will he fuck this up? Well, all I've got to say to that is, who want to know? I want to know, tell me, and please be smug about it. Alright, as the indulgent self-inserts grow in frequency, you may find yourself increasingly afraid that my direct interference with canonical events approaches inevitability, but you should understand that I am dealing with forces which, if handled recklessly, will nullify the basic ability of intelligent beings in all real and hypothetical planes of existence to give a shit. It would be stupid of me to mismanage these forces, and even stupider of you to worry about it, because it would be stupid for you to think I was stupid. In fact, I feel a little dumber just thinking about it. When the time comes, I will interact directly with the events of the narrative, but this moment will be responsibly confined to a passive intervention. It will be compact, surgical, and essential. My involvement will have such precision, I will have even managed to quantify it in units of physical measurements. I will be involved in only the narrow corridor of space through which light will pass in 3 nanoseconds. My window of influence, end to end, will be exactly 1 yard. Okay, anyway, let's get back to John. John locates the tumor. John looks around. John looks inside. John takes the tumor. Wow. John returns to the surface. CD approaches the locals. You and your rabbit friend approach a gentleman wrapped in fine white cloth and his courageous cohort, a young man riding a great gust of wind. You're so impressed you forget what you're supposed to be doing. John reunites with Liv Tyler. Sweet, precious, beautiful Liv Tyler. You thought you'd lost her forever, just like Bruce Willis did when he blew himself up with a nuclear bomb in the center of an asteroid the size of Texas. His heroism and fatherly pride were also the size of Texas. But your love for Liv is not fatherly, oh no. This reunion is with no loving daughter, but a loving, moving star fantasy crush who happens to be in the form of a robot bunny which has traveled through time and has been given to you as a gift on 5 separate occasions. Twice by you and thrice by you. An originally fished out of a sewer by Nicolas Cage on the silver screen. You forget the point you're supposed to be making. But you wonder where all her sweet weapons went. She indicates in the language of the plush toy pantomime that she has no idea. They all blew away in the breeze. John retrieves the tiny hammer. This tiny hammer is so ridiculous, it's too bad it's not the right size. You'd love to wallop some imps with such a fanciful weapon. You guess you could go around giving them little bops on the head with it, like a silly gravel. No, that would be too absurd even for a great prankster like you. You'll discard this rubbish immediately. Wait, what's this? Miss Tyler is handing you a note. John reads the note. John, one more thing. This rabbit, I'm sure you've noticed, is armed to the stitches. He's got all 4 of the funny little weapons I mentioned that are all deadly as the fucking dickens, but that doesn't mean they aren't meant exclusively for the paws of Mr. Terry Kaiser. That is the name I call him. Heck no. You see, I adopted Terry with some doodads you may deem practical. An infinitesimalator, which I used to littlefy them down in the first place, as well as a monstrosifier for when you would like to hugen them up and wield them yourself. He's surely got enough juice in them to make them enormous if you wish. But that's silly. What would you even do with, say, a magic needle the size of a skyscraper, for instance? Preposterous. I borrowed this technology from my grandmother, who had quite a way with manipulating space. Legend tells she was something of a witch with the stuff. Once she was a brave hero like you and I, John, and the stars themselves twinkled in her cauldron. I'd like to tell you who my grandmother is, I really would, but I can't. I think I have trouble keeping secrets. I like to be honest, just like you, and a lot of secrecy after a while gets me feeling a bit jaded. Green means grow, red means shrink. See you soon, pal, Jay. Grandmother? You wonder who that could be? It's probably just Jade. What's with all the time shenanigans? John hugens the hammer. You got the hammer of Zillihu. Behold, glory of Zillihu. You're so delighted by your rad new hammer and the cool hugening abilities of Liv Tyler, or Terry Kaiser, or whatever their name is. Who the hell is Terry Kaiser anyway? Probably a movie star from the future. Who cares though? Your bunny will be lived for life. Hearts, hearts, hearts. You wonder what other neat things you can get Liv to monstrositify with her sweet eye beams. Wait, what happened to her green eye? And why is the feverishly gesticulating toward the fellow in the ghost sheets? This is so ridiculous. You cannot turn your back on these people to admire a beautiful hammer for even one moment. You think that is enough fooling around? It is time to get down to business again. This serious business of being an important and heroic leader. John, wear the hood, be the leader. You are not their leader, you are their friend. There is a big difference. You prepare to issue your party a highly authoritative series of friendly requests. First, you request that everyone settle down. The squat fellow mediates between the two bickering parties and patches up Liv's missing eye. She is nothing if not accustomed to decades of repair work and quickly resumes her plucky demeanor. You then, in your most leaderly way, ask Liv to pilot an enormous battleship. She will now be known as Captain Tyler. She littlefies the ship down to something more manageable for a small bunny captain. Everyone is impressed. You give your wallet to your loyal chauffeur familiar. He looks puzzled. You inform the party you will not be going on the journey. You must remain behind and continue looking for your father. But you insist their mission is the most critical of all. You know they can handle it. You believe in them. You instruct Captain Tyler to set a course for the ship's home. They must fly to Durst and deliver the tumor to the moon. Everyone salutes their intrepid friend leader. This is what teamwork is about. And this guy? You guess this guy can go along and help out? Hey, who even is this guy anyway? Yes, it doesn't matter. He seems nice enough. John bids farewell. Godspeed, heroes. You have all the faith in the world that they will be successful. As a friend leader, or sometimes known as a pal honcho, you've done an amazing job. You've come up with a plan and politely ordered your loyal team to execute it. It is all falling into place perfectly. You're quite sure you've not failed to account for even a single thing. John, I'm worried about Rose. I'm pretty sure she's on her way there to look for Jack. I can't say for sure because I can't see her with my goggles anymore for some reason, but I am fearing the worst. Just in case, you should try to intercept her before she does something stupid like try to fight him. Also, I guess you probably still don't know about your dad yet, do you? John, why do I always have to be the one to break terrible news? John? Oh god, please tell me your computer wasn't... Please don't tell me your computer was in the wallet you just gave to that guy. Damn it, John. One of these days you'll learn the value of having plenty of backup computers. In fact, whenever you finally leave the battlefield, I'm going to give you the code for a nice pair of lunch muffs, and then I'm going to force you to keep them on your head at all times. Yeah, you're never going to read this, are you? Huh? Something is happening on the other side of the planet. Something ominous. Something grimdark. You are so glad that grimdark is a real word for... so that when things like this happen, they may be described as such. Maybe your dad is over there. You believe you will investigate. John approaches the grimdarkness. Vriska began trolling Rose. John, you're headed into the blackout, so I won't be able to see you until you leave. But don't worry, I can still sense you're there because of my awesome powers, remember? Smooth move for ditching your computer like that, by the way. That was some incredible leadership you showed. Now I have to contact you through Rose, but that's exposing me to risk of actually having to talk to her. Your carelessness has put the heroes of light in a very awkward position, John. I hope you're satisfied. Haha, I'm just kidding. She's obviously a little too preoccupied at the moment to be sassing me. Just borrow her computer and talk to me when you get the chance, okay? I'll be waiting. The seer descends. Oh! There's no sign of Jack up here. Must be somewhere in the castle. You got a trophy! He's too frightened to speak. He seems to be indicating that the only reason he survived this massacre was by hiding behind this pillar. Thank goodness for pillars. You got a trophy! It bears an inscription, "Our glorious speaker." His head was lopped clean off with some sort of sharp, sword-like object. Someone around here must hate frogs. You wonder who it could be. It was probably Jack. The stairs are blocked. You suppose you could easily remove the obstacle, but that would spoil a perfectly good opportunity to look for secret passages. The series of banners is titled, "They Wait." They wait for he who would extinguish candles whilst fanning a fire. They wait for she who would thaw solid flesh and resolve it to do. They wait for she who would breed lilacs out of the dead land. They wait for he who would drop it like it's hot, whilst the pimp's in the crib. You got a trophy! You got the Banner of the Villain. You suddenly feel inspired. It's in a generally rebellious, united sort of way. You got a flaming meteor chunk. It isn't even treasure. How is this treasure? She's apparently swooning over the hero of lore shared by the two kingdoms, a great man who united opposing sides against his tyrannical king. The revolt ended in tragedy, of course, which is typical of their folk tales, but it is no less inspiring. She's all aflutter about a legendary hero, some guy who was weary of war, apparently. A simple farmer, handsome and brave. You think you're beginning to fall in love with him too? He seems to be relieved that he and a handful of fellow soldiers have found a secret hideaway to escape the bloody rampage. Maybe if they regroup and marshal all their remaining forces, they can take this guy. Yeah, right. First he was frightened when you barged in here, and then briefly excited and now disappointed. He must have thought you were the great Dark Kingdom's defector, come to save them. Alas, it was only the spooky girl with magic wands. This fellow is mourning the dead. He's probably lost many friends today. She looks scared and confused. There's nothing left to do but hide. You've never seen anything so sad in your entire life. A beautiful, muscular man-stallion struck down in his prime. What monster could be responsible for this deed? Hint, it was Jack. Transportalize? Something's blocking it from the other side. Open curtains. Open curtains. Open curtains. Open curtains. Open curtains. Open curtains. Transportalize. Open curtains. Hi, Rose. Oh, I did not expect to find you here. Near Guilg. What? Also, why are you all gray like that? You look weird. Grug heeft maar braaf. Grug heeft maar braaf. Rose, I can't understand a word you're saying. It's a lot of silly speak and gobbledygook. Hagathril. Wait, I know what's going on. It finally happened. You've gone grimdark. I told you, Rose. I warned you about... What did you call them? The Broodfesters, Rose? It's okay, Rose. Don't worry. We will find a cure for your stubborn throws. I'm still trying to find our parents. I thought my dad might have come to this castle to check out the huge black rainstorm cloud. Did you see that cloud, Rose? It was pretty awesome. Fnilth Galoing Jorg Hothat. What? You sound kind of upset. What is it, Rose? Jungnan Film Fnilth Galoing Jorg Hothat. Wait, are you talking about our parents? Oh man, you mean they're here? Shkvib Thrall. Gors Fidnil Are you saying they're in trouble? Oh no, Rose, we have to go help them. Yes, I'm frustrated too, but there's no time for such lamentations. Do you think you can find them again? Shrugot. Great, I can't wait to see my dad. It feels like it's been forever since I saw him. Please lead the way, Rose. Okay. Ah, shit. Oh no, Rose, what happened in here? Was it Jack? Are you saying it was Jack, Rose? Yeah. What was that, Rose? Are you getting aggravated that I'm talking to you kind of like you're a dog? That's a really nice pillow, by the way. It goes well with your dark skin and gothy ensemble. Can I, yep. Welcome. Oh no. By the way, did you know that Karkat thinks we're supposed to get married? Gorthich Svolk Vorbliath. Wait, I hope that didn't come off as a proposal or anything. Sorry, I'm just making conversation. I guess I'm a little nervous, because technically this is the first time we've ever met, and also, you're talking like an eldritch monster, so I'm kind of babbling. We don't actually have to get married. Oh, I mean, not if you don't want to. Okay, I'll shut up now. Start over. Okay. am curious what was it through that door I didn't go through. They make such a cute couple. The king and queen are pretty nice too. Ah. This is where John came from. No use backtracking now. Got to take him to see his mom and dad. Alright. Dave answers. Strider! Oh my fucking god. What? What do you mean what? We just got done talking and agreed it would be awesome if you didn't bother me for a while. You know, like while I got grieved over this brutally murdered rad family member or something? Oh, that's right, I forgot. It was 5 seconds ago. I think that was hours ago for me. I'm a little foggy on all our chronologistical shenanigans at this point. There's been so much crazy stuff going on here, I've lost track. So you're officially going non-linear with me then? We just forfeiting all rhyme or reason to this unmitigated clusterfuck, is that it? Dave, your entire existence is non-linear, so don't be so melodramatic. Oops, okay, in the future I'll try not to pitch any sort of dramatics while brooding over the cadavers of a slaughtered loved ones. Did you love him, Dave? No, but he was your strange human man, Lucis, who taught you like cool things like swords and puppets and moving really fast. How could you not? Puppets aren't cool, they're shitty small fake people who haunt your dreams and grin like permanent assholes. I was making a joke about being all broken up about it. A guy can be sad and make jokes at the same time. You're sad but not broken up about it? I don't understand. Exactly. But you said you were grieving. I said we agreed you'd leave me alone to grieve. Didn't say whether I actually would or actually am. Well, are you? I am grieving to the max like a widow on Des Husband Island. Behind these chill as fuck shades, my face is having these crazy attack of the sads. Maru is fucking bananas, can't you tell? Ah, no I can't! You don't sound sincere, but it's so hard to tell what layer of irony removed from reality your flippant remarks are supposed to be. I'm betting you really are sad, no matter how hilarious and aloof you think you're being. The truth is a mystery, tuckered behind the pursed lips of a shitty Riddler. They'll be loosened only when presented with the wondrous grandeur of Rigidance. Voluble puzzlecock. Wow, that makes no sense. I'm sorry you're so flustered by the mere mention of glittering mythical crypto dick. It honestly makes me think you're not ready for the truth. Dave, your perplexing euphemisms involving what I presume to be lewd and vaguely intriguing portions of human anatomy, I think not as hilarious as you possibly believed. And in any case, you may be amazed to learn I am not totally in the mood for your dumb, smart-assy hornswogglery. I have lots of my own problems here, and they are big, big problems, so why don't you just tell me what you're thinking for once? It's pretty simple. I'm thinking about how I'm going to take this sword. Yeah, I never really got why you wouldn't just pull it out. Filthiest thing you ever said. Huh? Forget it. Pulling swords out of things isn't how I roll. I'm not John, remember? I am not following. I'm not a hero. My bro was. John is. I'm not. Yes, you are. No. Yes, we all are. I'm the hero of mind. You're the hero of time. That is who we're created to be. Fine, it's a title we inherit as phlegm babies or whatever, but what have I done to earn it? Pretty much nothing but horsing around through time and swindling and alligators out of their life savings. If the sword's coming out of his chest, it's coming clean. Taking it vertically means drawing more blood, but horizontally means a clean break. Check it. No, don't. Dave breaks. Sprawling. Dave, get up! No, fuck that. I'm gonna lie my ass down here for a while looking slightly less cool than I make myself out to be ordinarily. You must stand tall. Only a true hero can pull off such acrobatic fucking pirouette off that handle. Let's see. That is basically what I just did, isn't it? Yes. That's what I'm doing here, making a point of making every little thing take place, what was once mentioned in passing, no matter how seemingly trivial or pointless. That's how all the best adventures get strung together. You haven't heard me bleat like a goat for ironically humorous purposes yet, have you? No? That was something that was mentioned at some point by someone, I forget when or why. I bet you're on goddamn pins and needles waiting for that, aren't you? Are you about to be late like an earth goat, Dave? No, fuck that. Then will you at least get up? No, fuck you, go away. Ah, why do I do this to myself? What? Subject myself to the moody nonsense of curmudgeonly candy-blooded filth owl mouths. I don't know. Why are you even talking to me anyway, aside from the fact that several hours from now you apparently forget I don't need consolation and ought to be left alone? Maybe it just so happens that for once this isn't about you. Maybe I'm the one who needs help. Has that occurred to you, cool kid? Oh. Anyway, I remember now. Sorry everyone went kind of shit hive here. And I got bitten, I think, and I kind of forgot where I left off with you. Bitten? What? But I remember where this all fits into the chronology. With you and your bro here, this was just before you begged me to finally show you how to reach God tier, so I did. And then you got mad at me, so you decided to go do your own thing for a while. And I've been up to my pointy little nubs in suspense, intrigue, and betrayal. That sure sounds like a dumb way to say a thing. Almost egg birdian, like elegant stupidity. The T in egg bird in egg version is soft like shh. Oh, why would I get mad at you? Oh, you'll see. Okay. But yeah, I guess it's about time you showed me what's up with my allegedly feudal odd tierification. How long ago was it that you did your coin flip thing? I don't even remember. I was getting sure you were just bullshitting me and had no intention of ever mentioning it again. Unfortunately, no. Maybe I should take the opportunity to apologize in advance. For what? I don't think it'll be constructive to go into it before it happens. Before what happens? Do you mean God tiering? Does something go wrong? Everything goes according to plan. But that is all I will say. Remember, this conversation is kind of not supposed to be about you. I know the idea is unprecedented. That's practically unthinkable. I know. But I mean, okay, we can talk about your troll problems, but this is very important here. The God tier thing and whether I can actually do it or not. It might be kind of hard to tell on account of me chilling face down on the pavement and also cause downplaying feelings for the chief is the chief rule of cool, but I'm pretty pissed about this, which is weird. It's weird to feel mad? Are you too cool for that too? No, it's not weird to feel mad, it's just weird to... It feels like I'm the only one who is, and the only one even contemplating taking Jack on, even among your group of irate gnashing shitheads. Hey. What? Actually, you're right. Turns out we really have a lot of shitheads here. And also, as it happens, the worst one is the one who happens to be planning to take him on. Well, okay. And that would be a bitch in line, and to switch the subject to start talking about your complicated problems, but I kinda wasn't done. Fine. But for someone who just told you to fuck off, you sure are ending my ears suddenly. But okay, I mean, isn't that what heroes should be doing? Working to take down the bad guy without a whole lot of this fucking grandiloquence and these huge sweeping plans that got nothing to do with fighting him. Like always biding our time and tiptoeing around the unbeatable god boss. John's too nice to get mad, Rose spends all her time calculating, too focused on Machiavel employees have sabotaged to try anything drastic. Jade is, I don't even know, probably more of a liability if she got it in her head to take him down. If anything, I'd bet she just needs protection. What are you saying here, Dave? In this conversation that is still being about you, I'm just wondering, when does someone actually step up? Jack's got shit to pay for. If that is how you feel, then I think our two problems are not really different. We're both recently concerned with justice. Yeah, I guess it has been on my mind. Maybe I'm supposed to be a hero and rise to the occasion, because there seems to be this little persistent voice in my head nagging me about it, insisting someone's gotta pay, and it's hard for me to disagree. Then it could mean one of two things. Or both of the two things, like it did for me. What things? It could mean that the agent presently influencing you is a conscience and or an exile. I'm pretty sure I don't even have an exile. I've never heard any voices or anything. Anyway, you don't need a voice in your head to tell you this shit is just like so completely illegal. Wait, did I just say that stupid thing I said? This atrocity cannot go unpunished. Throw whoever is responsible into the slammer. Slammer means jail, by the way. Dave, I did not realize you had such a passion for law enforcement. I must say this is a shocking development. This shocking development is coming dangerously close to giving me a case of the vapors. No, I mean, okay, that came out wrong. What were we talking about again? Bringing Jack to justice? Right, someone has to make him pay. Can't just let him go unpunished. If I can figure out how to reach the gods here, maybe I can be the one to throw him into the slammer. The slammer? Slammer means jail. I know what the slammer means. You call it the slammer when you're extra angry at crimes. You call it the slammer when you're extra angry at crimes. Okay. This has been nice and I'd like to continue, but I really ought to get going so I can be up tomorrow for work. Adios.